I want to get Peter Thiel in here. Talk about the Antichrist.
Yeah. I mean, he's the one that financed Hogan's.
I know.
Illegal
Gay Christian billionaire.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a combination.
I don't know if he would come. I mean, he's pretty. I don't know.
I have a friend who works for him.
Oh, well, there's your end.
Yeah.
There's your end. It's all about ends, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. He's behind this big, I mean, you know all about Peter Thiel. Most people know, his history. He's like the biggest he was one of the early investors in Facebook.
PayPal.
He owns PayPal as well, Palantir. His
number one goal was to bury Gawker because Nick Denton was the one that outed him as being gay. So that was his big hard-on with Gawker. So when Hogan started to sue Gawker, Hogan didn't have the resources locally to step up to the big boy league, and Gawker did. At one point, Gawker had way better representation than Hogan did. And once Peter Thiel, whatever the fuck, once he found out that Hogan had an ongoing legal battle with Gawker, he called up his lawyer, Charles Harder, out of Beverly Hills and said, I don't care what it takes. I will pay for every fucking dollar of that litigation. And it changed everything. Hogan was able to do research. He was able to do mock trials. He was able to. Oh yeah, it changed. I mean, rumor has it that his legal bill was upwards of $8 million. And at that point, they had determined, they'd mock tried it. They had all the research that they needed, and they'd already deposed me. They knew what my testimony was going to be, and that's one of the reasons why I think well Hogan prevailed because Gawker invaded his privacy. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. I mean, they had no business on publishing that tape. They obtained it illegally. Mm-hmm. They knew it was stolen. They didn't have consensual forms from Heather or him, so they should have never published it. It wasn't a newsworthy event. Hogan fucking my wife is not a newsworthy event if it's not on the beach, but it's in my house with closed curtains. So
right,
why Gawker even published that, is beyond me.
Yeah, that was a crazy thing, and the general consensus, like for people that aren't paying attention, was that you released it as a publicity stunt to make money on it.
Everybody thinks that I did it all. Mm-hmm. I planned it. I taped it. I took that footage to my work. I then strategized with whomever to try to broker it. I tried to extort Hogan. I then, when none of that worked, leaked it to Gawker so that I could get myself fired. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. I got fired.
Was that the peak of your career right there? Like that at that point?
2012, yeah. Well, no, I just left Sirius because they had low dogged me on the money, but I was still on Cox on the Bone and had 14 affiliates. Probably doing $2.5 million a year, something like that. So, we were doing well. And so,
and how much would have this tape have banked you if you would have been behind it to promote it, to sell it, to
I would have. There's no value in it at all. There's no. That's what people don't realize.
The dude who tried extorting him wanted like $300,000, right?
Well, the guy who extorted him, Matt Lloyd, Spice Boy, wanted $300,000 because he'd already shopped it to Hollywood with Digital Underground and Wicked. And they said, well, we'll be interested. We'd be very interested in that. But do you have 2257 consent forms on the people that appear on camera? And he's like, well, no. I'm like, well, it's not worth fucking nothing. It's not worth nothing. So Spice Boy, Matt Lloyd, switched gears and said, okay, I can't sell it in the marketplace, but I can extort Hogan with it because it's, why would Hogan will pay any? He wanted $1 million and they settled for $300,000 at the Sand Pearl when they met at the Sand Pearl, and so. And the reason why Hogan was willing to pay $300,000 for is because he didn't. It was very damning. Nobody wants that out. Nobody wants. He was caught saying the N-word and
right. And why would he want that out?
Why would
he was kicked out of the WWE for that?
Why would he want? Why would I want that? I mean, if you really take a look at it and be like, oh, Bubba did it all. Why would I want any of all that?
Right.
Why would I want to tape
burn the bridge with you and your best friend?
Hogan fucking my wife and I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to look like a fucking cock-holded asshole. Like, I mean, there's no upside for me. I'm making a couple $1 million in radio. Why do I want to? Right. So Cox comes to me. I'm still doing mornings, and Cox comes to me and says, "You got to make this go away. Like, you got to make this go away." So Hogan at that time was suing me too, because he didn't know that I wasn't part of the deal. So he settles with me. I have to write him a check for $5,000 to get out of the lawsuit. So I write him a check for $5,000 and give him all the rights to the tape. You own this tape. These tapes that are out there floating around that's causing all this havoc, they're yours. I don't want them. Now, if I'm the guy that's trying to extort him or sell it or broker it, why would I pay the guy $5,000 and sign over the rights to the tape? The only way he could sue Gawker is if he owned those tapes.
Right.
So when they go to the San Pro hotel, the FBI arrests the person that Spice Boy sent to represent them and arrests Keith Davidson, the guy who brokered the tape. And Hogan is the one that alerted the FBI that he was being extorted, and they arrest these people. And then once it goes through the state attorney or the U.S. attorney, they find out that Bubba and Hogan are your victims. And they're like, listen, that's a pro wrestler and a shock jock. This could be a fucking clown show, and the feds only go to trial when they know they're going to win. And they decided to no file. So nobody was held accountable for the leak. Nobody was held accountable. So once Spice Boy got arrested, but then didn't get prosecuted, the tape is dead. There's no value to that tape.
Right.
There's nothing. Unless you can get it published somewhere. So Spice Boy gives it to Mike Calta, and Mike Calta leaks it to AJ Delirio of Gawker, and I get fired. And Mike Calta, of all people, because Cox doesn't know who leaked it, they promote Mike Calta to do my job, who's still there today doing my job.
The mornings, yeah.
And
he does mornings now?
He does the morning show.
He did my morning
Bubba
show.
used to have the morning show.
The morning show that you used to listen to
now is him.
Has been for well over a decade.
Wow. I've never listened to him once on there.
And so here's the deal. Hogan is brilliant, was brilliant. He's like, once he got Peter Thiel involved, they're like, we can take 2 bites of this apple. We can take a bite of the apple for the people that published it, which is Gawker, and their worth, at that time, their worth was $135 million. And then when that lawsuit goes down, we don't know what the outcome of that's going to be yet, but however that fares, then we're going to take a bite at who distributed it, who leaked it. And that was Cox Media. And I've been told that they wrote a $52 million check to Hogan. And so Hogan sued Gawker, and they navigated through that lawsuit, and they knew that where that ended up. And that ended up with a $141 million verdict that Gawker only could pay $35 million of because they filed bankruptcy, and Hogan was their largest creditor. So, but they had already tried this case, and they knew what a jury would do. So they went and they start to depose Mike Calta, and Cox settles the next day for $52 million because they didn't want any of that information, because at one time that sex tape was hosted on Cox management servers, and they were afraid. Hogan was suing them for $110 million, and they were afraid that they were going to lose. Gawker lost. Why wouldn't they?
Right.
The details of the dissemination and the leakage didn't change from the Gawker deal. They'd already tried it once and won. The second trial was going to go the same way.
Right.
Cox fired me, put Calta in there, didn't know Calta was part of this until they start doing investigation and phone records and things like that. And he's still there to this day. But there's a bigger piece in my documentary, Video Killed the Radio Star, that a lot of people don't know about, and that's who they were after as well, which I'm sure that you know now. They wanted Trump.
Yeah, this is the Keith Davidson connection.
This is the
right?
Keith Davidson tie-in. So Keith brokered the tape and also brokered all the negotiations between Karen McDougal and Stormy Daniels with Michael Cohen, which was Trump's personal fixer / attorney. And he was negotiating exclusively with Keith Davidson, who was the broker of the Hogan tape. And they went to Keith Davidson and said, if you don't give us all correspondence that you've had with Michael Cohen, we still have 4 years of statute of limitations left in the Tampa sex tape that we didn't prosecute. We're going to go for you on that deal. So he laid down, was government's witness, and gave him all the correspondence that he had with Michael Cohen, and they got Michael Cohen to testify against the president.
Wow.
All from my little old sex tape. That at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not quite as jealous I am, like that you are of your girl. I just let my girl fuck Hogan. That's it. He was living with me. He was down on his luck.
Yeah, how long? It was
lived with me for 3 or 4 months.
Living at your house because that was the middle of his divorce.
The middle of his divorce, and I'm like, listen, I'm not a jealous motherfucker. We were kind of in the lifestyle a little bit, and so I was just like, fuck, won't you fuck Hogan? I'll cheer him up a little bit. My home surveillance caught it. I have some skin in this game, like I've said before.
You had you had the camera pointed at the bed, though.
Well, no.
That's what some of the people say.
Well, that was a peripheral view of my whole bedroom.
Oh, was it?
I mean, yeah, it was. Okay. So, and let me just clarify why that.
You were in the other room watching the feed, Bubba. Don't get me wrong. Don't try to swindle me, Bubba.
Can I, with your hairy arms and all,
try to pull McGillicuddy on me?
Can I tell you what I was really doing?
Yes.
This is pathetic. I was buying go-kart parts for my son.
Were you?
Yes. My son was in the quarter midgets at that time, and I was buying titanium axles, which are like $800. I was trying to find the best price on titanium axles.